The second episode of What If came out today, and I enjoyed the first episode. I didn't really love it or anything. I was very excited for it. It was actually my most anticipated episode. I didn't even realize it was going to be the first one, but I did like it. I don't think it was amazing or anything, but I was very excited for this episode because it features Chadwick Boseman's final performance, and I mean, that just gives me chills now. Like, it's insanely heartbreaking, and they dedicated the episode to him, which is great. And you know, he was truly fantastic as Black Panther, and just getting straight into it, I mean, he was the best part of this episode. But this episode basically asks the question of, what if T'Challa was taken instead of Peter Quill, and what if T'Challa became Star-Lord here? And I enjoyed this episode actually a lot more than the first one. Now, the first one was good. There were things about it I really enjoyed. I mean, I love the concept too. But for me, this one was better for one main reason. And again, spoilers for this episode and the last one. If you haven't seen it, go check it out if you are interested in it. But one of the biggest problems I had with the first episode is that it felt like a 2 hour something movie crammed into like 30 minutes or so. Like, because it happens over multiple days, and you know, it's basically First Avenger with stuff swapped around, which was cool. But that was kind of an issue because it was so tight and it felt like we were missing so many things, whereas this one basically just takes place over like one day with like a few flashbacks, so it works better as a 30-minute episode because they don't have to show us every single thing for months on end. And I think it really worked in that way, and the animation actually improved a bit, at least I think, because in the first one some of the movement was a bit weird, and here I didn't notice it as much. The only thing I really noticed, and this is just me being picky, okay, I understand animation is super difficult, I would never do it, but the mouth moving just doesn't exactly match up with some of the characters. I can't remember specifically who, but there was one in particular that it just didn't seem like it matched up a lot, and I'm not really sure what that is. But again, that's just a small little nitpick, but the action is really enthralling, and all the voice acting, just like the first one, is very good. I'm not sure exactly who came back. I could tell it was Josh Brolin here as Thanos, and talking about Thanos really quickly, did he need to be in the episode? No. Am I mad that he's here? No, not really. Like, he's kind of just there, and they have this running joke about genocide and stuff, which I thought was pretty funny for the most part, and I love Thanos. He's, you know, obviously the best MCU villain. He's great, and Josh Brolin is great, but we have to talk about Chadwick Boseman. Again, rest in peace. This guy was an absolute legend, but his voice acting was just so great here. I genuinely felt like I was watching T'Challa on screen, and I don't know, he just like transported me back there, and I could just picture him like speaking these lines in my head, and I just thought that was amazing. I mean, I have chills talking about this. You won't be able to see, but he was really great, and a lot of people are going to praise his voice work, and honestly, they really should. A lot of people will complain and say, oh, you're only saying that because he passed on, which is stupid, and please shut your mouth if you ever say that, but come on, he was just so good here, and I like the idea. I like the idea of him becoming Star-Lord. Now, Star-Lord is in like my top 5 favorite MCU characters. He was my favorite one for years, so I was interested to see kind of like the swap here, because obviously I love T'Challa and Black Panther as well, so I think it really worked here. Obviously, the concept of the show is really interesting, and I do think this one delivered better than the first episode for those reasons I went into before. Are there still problems with it? Yes. Or is there stuff that happens that I'm just like, really? Like, that doesn't really need to happen? Yeah, I would say so, but I also like what they did with Nebula and the Collector's in here, and I think what they did with him was pretty cool. Also, Howard the Duck, and if Max Talks Movies is watching this, I bet you would have loved that man. I mean, I thought that was pretty funny. There are definitely some issues here, and sometimes I was checking the time a little bit. Maybe they cut off like 3 to 5 minutes. Now, these episodes are shorter, but I did like this episode a lot more than the first. I just went into the show knowing that I wasn't going to love it as much as a lot of people. Like, I definitely like it. I definitely think it is a good show now. It is getting better. I hope it just gets better and better and better as it goes along. I love the premise here, but I want to know what you thought of the second episode of What If. Which one did you prefer, this one or the first one? I'm interested. I did enjoy the second one more, although I like the concept of the first one a little bit more, if that makes sense, but the voice acting was just amazing. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You were an absolute legend. Thank you for doing this once more, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.